Hello, Chris Walker here with Big Angie Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii with a quick tutorial for concert goers who are recording Angelina Jordan or anybody in concert for that matter. Two reasons for this. Once, just in general, that fan videos of concerts are, the great majority of them are almost useless to watch because of technical things. Some of these things cannot be avoided in a big stadium concert, but others can. And a lot of them are very easy to avoid. I don't want anybody here to be thinking, oh, now I have to worry about settings or anything. No, this is just very, very basic stuff that will greatly improve your concert video. But also, in the case of Angelina Jordan, she is so good live, and most of what we have of her is live, and it is from fans. And so it's really important that we get as good quality as we can, especially in these days before she hopefully hits it big. And, I would also like to collaborate with others, putting together, you could put together some beautiful multi-camera edits of concert performances if you're having, decent footage. Okay, but again, I'm not trying to do anything that's complicated, make you have to think about camera settings or anything. This is really basic stuff. Okay, so the first thing has to do with overexposure. When you overexpose a concert, it's there's really not anything you can do about it in editing. Highlights just get blown out. They're just pure white. If you try and darken them down, there's still nothing there. It just looks like, instead of a bright white, it just looks like a gray color, but with nothing there. So it's something that you can set before the concert and forget about. So here's a tutorial about that. All right, I'm going to start this tutorial with it in photo mode rather than video mode, just so that you can see this chevron up here, which just provides you another way. You make it so it's pointing down, and then this row of icons appears in the bottom. And you would move this to -1, maybe even -1.3 or 1.7. I was at -1 at Kongsberg, and I wish that I had underexposed a little bit more. But there, and then you're done. Now to get out of, so you can see and change modes, let's do the chevron again. Now if I put it in video mode, the chevron disappears there, but we still have this symbol up here of the exposure. So I click on that, and again, go down to 1. At least -1, probably -1.3. And this will almost always give you a better result when you're at a concert, because the performer is almost always going to be more brightly lit than the background. And so you just record and stop recording. You notice that it's still at -1. Now, it will just stay that way for every shot. So that's one thing you do have to remember, is that when you're back in your regular lighting situation, to put it at 0. I actually usually keep it always at -0.3, because phones tend to overexpose because they want to make your image look bright on a small screen, which is fine on a small screen, but it's not ideal for a big screen. Of course, the other thing is you want to be horizontal. Okay, that's it for the tutorial. Okay, I'm holding the camera in an awkward way now with my hand, because I wanted to illustrate the second thing to do is, you should of course try to film a song in its entirety and horizontally rather than vertically. Vertically is great for social media, but for a big screen, you definitely want to have horizontal. But you don't want to be getting tired of holding the camera for a long time. So this is what I was using at Kongsberg. I just put this, it's kind of like a selfie stick, except in this case this is a little tripod that the legs are folded in, and I just held it in front of me. And you can hold it very stably like this. So I was, because that's another thing, is I don't want you to be watching a concert and thinking about what am I going to do with the camera and not enjoying the concert, because you're thinking too much about holding the camera. So it's important to hold it very steady. But so using the stick like I showed you, you can just kind of have the camera. That's how I had it in Kongsberg. I had it in front of me, a little bit below my eye level. So most of the time I was just watching the concert and enjoying it. Every once in a while I would glance down to make sure I still had my framing properly. But just holding it with the stick like this, it was a lot easier to focus on the concert and still be confident that the camera was staying still. So right now I'm just holding it with my hand, and so that I could show you this. The other thing is, another reason to use the stick like that is you really don't want to be zooming in and out a lot and moving the camera around a lot. I know there's things that you want to see, but that's one reason why I think a collaboration with others is good. Like in Angelina Jordan's next series of concerts, it would be a good idea, if possible, to coordinate with other fans, and you could say one fan could say, okay, I'm going to just be all a wide angle, steady wide angle from where I am, and then somebody else would say, okay, I'm going to be with the telephoto lens the whole time, and somebody else could be doing audience shots. It's like you want to get everything. You want to get the audience reaction, you want to get different angles, but if you're doing it with one camera and zooming in and out quickly, it just doesn't look professional at all. Now if you have a way to very slowly and smoothly zoom in, you can do that, but I would save that for editing. Now a lot of you of course don't want to think about editing at all, but that's where collaboration comes in. I'm hoping that I can collaborate with some of you guys, and we'll get a series, we'll get half a dozen or so or more fans shooting videos and contributing them for like a single song, and they're all nice and steady, they're different angles, and then you could combine them in editing, and you can zoom in, you can do some nice slow zooms in, as long as, well, that's another thing, shoot in 4K if possible. I'm not going to explain that now, but that's pretty obvious in your settings. You want to shoot in 4K, 24 frames a second, or 30 frames per second. 24 is best for if it's a little bit dark. So I guess that's the main things I just wanted to say is don't overexpose, because underexposure is much more forgivable. It's much easier to fix in editing. There's still some things that you can bring out in those dark shadows and you brighten it up. But overexposing, there's really not much at all you can do about it. It looks really bad. So don't overexpose. Use that tutorial I told you. Hold the camera in front of you on a selfie stick or like a tripod like I showed you. Very steady and smooth. You can still be enjoying the show. That's another reason not to be moving the camera all around, because that way you can enjoy more of the show. You're just holding the camera in front of you in one position the whole time. If you really don't, have the opportunity to collaborate with other people, and you want to get a variety of shots, one thing you can do is you can say for one song, you're just going to have the one angle on the singer, but then for the next song, you're going to have it mostly be audience shots. You could always later on incorporate those audience shots into your first video. People aren't going to know that audience shot is from a different song. And if you must move around very, very slowly and smoothly. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. Again, the idea is for it to be very, very easy, and still allowing you to enjoy the concert. And I'm hoping that concerts are coming this next summer that I will be able to be a part of, and I would love to collaborate with some of you guys. Get something like that. I wasn't able to be at that Kongsberg. I was at Kongsberg, but I wasn't able to be at Kerbadagen after that, and a lot of people got shots. And putting together those as a multi-camera edit is pretty nice, but it would have been quite a bit nicer, if some of these things I've been telling you had been followed. And so maybe we can do that in the future. Okay, Chris Walker with Big Angie Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii. Aloha.
Hey guys! How are you guys? Amazing! I'm so happy to be here. Y'all ready? Yes! Okay. Mount Everest ain't got it on me. Mount Everest ain't got it on me. 'Cause I'm on top of the world. I'm on top of the world, yeah. But you ain't got it on me. Can touch the sky, you ain't got it on me. 'Cause I'm on top of the world.